Hello, my name's Rachel. For those who don't know me, my business is Crazy Cat Copy. I help service-based businesses with their WordPress websites and their website and blog copy. So I wanted to do some tips on writing blogs, as many people get stuck with doing this. And yeah, so hopefully some of these tips will help you think about blogging for your business. So in terms of why blog, so there's sort of three main reasons. You can establish yourself as an industry leader or authority. So it's that helps build trust with potential clients. They can see that you know what you're talking about, and hopefully that will lead them to making inquiries with you. You can also increase your online visibility. So it's really a really good digital marketing tool. So the more blog content you can create and publish on your website, the more opportunities you have to appear on search results. So it's a very good tool in terms of SEO strategy. Not the only SEO strategy tool, but it's definitely an important part of that. And also you can repurpose your blog content for other areas of your digital marketing as well. So you can repurpose it for social media. If you're someone who also does presentations for different groups, you can use some of your blog content as the basis of any presentations that you like to do. So tip number one, make it simple for people to subscribe to your blog. So many businesses make use of email marketing platforms such as MailChimp, MailerLite, ActiveCampaign, and so on. And most of those platforms make it really easy for you to feed blogs from your website to your marketing platform. And then you can set up an automation so that when your email marketing platform picks up on a new blog post published on your site, it will email it to your subscribers without them having to actively visit your website. So it's an easy way to get information out to your subscribers on top of any email newsletters that you send, and in turn that makes it easy to stay front of mind. So yeah, the tip there is, and yeah, make it simple for people to subscribe to your blog. So all you really need is their first name and email address. So you can have that either as a pop-up on your website, or you can have it have the sign-up form as part of your footer. So that makes it easy for people to sign up and receive your emails. So planning your blog. So you need to sort of think about different topics, create an outline. If there's any research or fact checking that you need to do that, and then yeah, write basically. So I'll just go through a couple of those. So some people have difficulty coming up with topics for their business blog. And yeah, so yeah, there's a few things that you can think about. So have a think about your expertise. So this is likely to be the industry that you're working in. What interests you? So this is where your niche comes in. So yeah, and yeah, if the topic doesn't interest you, it will show up in your writing. So and that was slightly to make it less engaging. So it needs to be something that you're interested in, and that yeah. And then, yeah, valued by others. So you're not going to appeal to everybody. So this is a good place where you can think about your target market and you write to them. And if you get stuck on topics, you can think about things about, like, if there's questions that you commonly get asked by your clients or leads, that's often a good place to start. So, and I actually have a Word document where I keep sort of brainstorm ideas, and I keep a list of topics that I can write about. Even if I don't write about them straight away, I can do it in the future. And yeah, so yeah, have a think about some of the questions that you commonly get asked. So that's because if they're asking you that, then there's a good chance that they're also asking Google the same thing. So some basic writing tips. So I like to use direct language. So you're talking to your reader. So you start using the word you rather than using the word our customers. Spelling, so we're all in England, in Australia, so we're mainly attracting Australian-based clients. So yeah, use Australian English. Use plain English. That seems obvious, but I've seen people write blogs and they use too much of their industry jargon. And whilst you might understand what you're saying, your reader might not. So you just have to keep that in mind when you're actually writing. Avoid abbreviations and acronyms. So use the word and instead of the ampersand symbol. The only exception to that would be to use the ampersand in the header. And acronyms, again, some people might not understand what the acronym is. So it's better to say it out in full. And then if it's something that you're going to repeat throughout the blog, then make sure that you define it at the first time you mention it and then use the acronym after that. So avoid passive voice. So there's a lot of people who use sort of, so you need to use an active voice because that sort of, it reads a lot better. And there is actually something that you can use to help with that. If I can open it, my internet. So there's this thing called Hemingway Editor. So it's hemingwayapp.com. And this can help you, sort of when you're typing in here, it sort of comes up with different alerts for different things. So tells you when you're using adverbs. It also identifies passive voice. So if you accidentally use a passive voice, it will highlight in green here and you can reword it. And then it also tells you if your sentences are getting a bit too long. So I like using short length sentences, short paragraphs, bullet points are good, or numbered lists. So this is a free tool, this Hemingway app. But there's also a desktop app which is paid. I think it's about $20 or something like that. So it's not very expensive and you only have to buy it once. But yeah, it's a helpful tool there. Just get my PowerPoint back up if I can. There you go. So date format. So I like having the date written full. So like 20 February of the year rather than 20 Feb, or using the sort of like 20/2. So with links, I sometimes see on blog posts and website copy that people have the whole URL listed, and what you should do is hyperlink that. So you highlight the word that you want linked and then have the link contained in that. Just it looks neater, it looks clearer, and it's just easier for the reader. With numbers, so for numbers 1 to 9, write them as words, and then from number 10 onwards you can use that as the numerical version. And then the percent symbol, so I always use numbers with the percent sign straight afterwards, so no space between the number and the symbol afterwards. So optimizing your blogs for SEO, so this can be done a few different ways. So this sort of part of it comes back to what common questions that you get asked from leads and clients. So that's a good starting point. And there are a few tools that you can use to do some research. And I'll just show you some again. So Google Ads is a good thing, and you don't need to actually have a good ad campaign to do some keyword research. So this is what it looks like when you first log into Google Ads, and under Tools and Settings, there's a keyword planner which brings up this. It takes a minute. And then, yeah, so I quite often use this discover new keywords. And basically you can type up to 10 different keywords, and they don't have to be single words. They can be sort of several words, and you can have go up to 10 of them, get results, and Google will give you information about for the past 12 months relation to those keywords, and it will also make suggestions for other keywords that you might not have thought of. You can even use Google itself. So if I typed in something to here, so it'll come up with this, but at the bottom of the page, Google comes up with some alternatives to whatever you typed in. So that can be another way to get some keyword ideas. And then another free tool is this Uber Suggest. So it's neilpatel.com/Uber Suggest, and you can type in a domain name if you wanted to have a look at your competitors and what keywords they might be using, or you can enter a keyword here. Just remember to change this. Yeah, so I usually put it on the UK English. So it only seems to have a few different English options there. Because Australian English is closer to UK than the US, I tend to go for that one there. Back to my PowerPoint. So look out for long tail keyword opportunities. So there's a difference between long tail and short tail keywords. Short tail keywords you usually use for your other pages of your website, so your home page, about page, service pages, and they tend to be short, 3 words or less, whereas long tail keywords are longer, so but they can be related to your short tail keywords that you've got on other pages of your site. So they tend to be like questions. They're more than 3 words long. They tend to be, because blogs, they're about providing information, and the reader is looking for certain information. So it's more of the searcher's intent is different to if they're searching for one of your services and stuff like that. So yeah, the long tail keywords are less competitive, so they're easier to rank for. And yeah, and there's certain place when you've decided on your keyword, there's certain places where you should have it in your content. So your header, first 100 words, it should be the basis of what you save your images. So any images that you use on your website should be saved SEO optimized before uploading to WordPress or whatever platform you've got your website on. So yeah, so there's different places where you can help Google find you, basically. So when and when you upload your website, your blog, don't forget to include a meta description. So meta description is like a summary of what that page or blog is about, and it's also another place where you can put your keyword in as well. And if you're on like Facebook or something and you're showing your website, you'll see that there's a little summary there. So that's where the meta description comes in. So a good way to share, so you can use your blog to share on social media. So whether you're predominantly on LinkedIn or Facebook, you can share it around. And that might also help with people signing up to your to receive emails if you've got that as part of your website. And so when you're, like I said earlier, when you upload your image, give it a SEO keyword rich name. So so creating new posts can be a bit of hard work. But you can always review your old posts and sort of read them to see if they need any updating, like if there's any changes in your industry. Since you wrote that blog, you can sort of update that with new information and then share that around again on social media and stuff like that. So it's a good way of repurposing existing content. So my last tip is edit your blog posts. So when I write blog posts, I like to finish writing it, and I won't look at it until at least another day. Look at it with fresh eyes. So I like to, so that helps you ensure that, you can check for the usual typos, make sure it makes sense, make sure it's not repetitive. If you've got someone else to proofread it, that's great, so that's another way of getting fresh eyes. And like I said earlier, keep sentences and paragraphs short and make good use of bullet points to make it easier for your readers. Don't be perfect, because you're human. So and I've got actually got a blog there that I've got on editing and proofreading, if you wanted some more tips about that. And that's all. I'm going to stop sharing my screen now.
Thank you so much, Rachel.
Gosh,
I learned a lot. I actually learned a lot there. I think I was just thrown into my blog writing a lot of the time. It's like, oh, I'll just do it without really thinking.
And the other tip there as well is Google does like longer form content. So sort of this, so if your blog post is at least 700 words, it's got more. So that's
Okay.
It does like the longer form content. So that's something I didn't put in the PowerPoint, but it's a useful thing to know.
Interesting. Yes, I've got all my notes here. I think I'm still a bit confused about, hang on, passive voice. I don't really know what that is.
Okay, I've got an example. Better I wrote my example down. So an example of passive voice would be the business is improved by the new system. So it's the by improve is improved. So that's a very passive way of talking. The better way of saying that sentence is the new system improves the business. So so it's only a small difference, but it's subtle difference. But and if you get confused about it, using that Hemingway app.
Hemingway app,
because that will
really great.
Yeah, because that's a free tool. You can have it opened up in your browser, and it will pick up any use of passive voice.
Yeah, great.
There you go, Suzanne. Something for Stacey to have a look at.
Yeah, that's right. I've got some notes. Don't worry.
Women usually use passive voice when writing. It's one of the things I pick my junior women solicitors up. Will you kindly, please send the document? Send the document by 5 p.m.
Yeah, that's exactly how I write.
Yeah, active voice is a lot more directed, focused and directed at the person reading, using you and descriptions and measurements and all that kind of thing, as Catherine was just suggesting. And passive voice is also, like Catherine suggested, the very courteous way or non-confrontational way of writing.
That's how I write, for sure.
So basically, take charge in your writing. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, there you can still do it nicely, but much more directly.
Get to the point.
I don't think Stacey's got a problem with that, Suzanne.
She's great. I love her being the voice of ClearPath. Yeah, that's why I chose her. I liked her direct and her messaging and
because
just her tone of writing.
There's no ambiguity in direct.
Oh no, I'm still recording this. Actually, I'll have to edit that out. But if everyone,
love your space.
If there are no other questions, I just want to leave the recording open if there's questions. Otherwise, I'll just close the recording.
Sorry, just one question. Rachel, you mentioned something about putting some kind of description or keyword rich description
Oh,
of
so-
your images. How do you do that?
So you know how you can say, you know, when you've got like an image saved on your computer, it's got a file name.
Yes.
Yeah, so you need to change that to match your SEO keyword before you upload it to your website.
So even from
Because
the file
yeah.
name.
Yeah, so you change because Google doesn't really sort of see images, but it can read text, so it can read the name of the image, and that's what you want. So if it's saved as image 1, then that's not going to help you in terms of Google or any other. So you need to have that as make it part of your keyword, so that Google can read what that image is. Yeah.
Yeah, sort
You
of
might
like
also be able to do that. You might also be able to do that when you upload the image. There's normally these descriptions for the image that you can add in when you upload it into WordPress. Is that right, Rachel?
Yeah, but you can rename it before you upload it to WordPress, and then you can there's other information that WordPress lets you do, like out description and stuff like that, which is another place where you can mention your keyword or a synonym of your keyword as well.
Yeah, but definitely your suggestion is to rename the image before you upload it. Okay.
Yeah. So for example, like with mine, I name it Red Wine Gift Hamper, and then I upload it to the website. And then in the alt description, I put gift hamper with red wine or something like that. So the more places you've got it, the better. Hey, Rachel.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Sorry, and I just wanted to add as well, Rachel, you said about repurposing content. So with our blog posts, I go through and get the little quotes, and I use them for social media.
Yeah.
I often talk about them on the radio that I do as well. Like I just go through my blogs, and that's what I use for that. But yeah, there's heaps of things you can use it for.
Definitely. Yeah. So
Yeah.
and it's not just social media. It's not just social media. You can use it as a basis of a presentation if you're doing a speech to anybody, to a group or something like that.
Yeah, often the content creation is the longest part, and if you use it just once, you're wasting your effort.
Exactly.
You can also use it later on down the track. I know, obviously, when we could travel around Christmas time, we would send out the same newsletter or blog every year about travel insurance. But rather than writing a new one every year, we would just send the same one because it's just a reminder, and no one's going to remember what they read a year ago.
No.
Yeah.
Unless it was
I can't remember
profound.
yesterday.
Yeah.
Just change the date.
Yeah, change the date.
Yeah, I think for me, I've got to make sure that we optimize our SEO in the blog.
Yeah, definitely.
That still scares me. Just SEO scares me in general.
It's not as scary as it sounds. It's actually less scary than what it sounds. But yeah.
Rachel, do you provide training for let's say, because I know Stacey does Suzanne's blogs, and then you'll upload it, and I know when you upload there's all these snippets that you can check that it turns green and all that type of thing, is that something you provide training businesses about?
I haven't got that on my website, but I could offer that quite easily as a service.
Oh, okay. Oh well, I'll speak to Stacey's coming in today.
It's
I'll
valuable
talk to her,
stuff,
let you
Rachel.
know.
So it's something that that should be a paid service. I think.
Yeah,
It's,
definitely.
these are valuable
absolutely.
services, valuable.
Yes.
Yeah.
No,
All
that's not a problem.
Thanks, everyone.